Hey everybody, it's your pal Drew Dracy, longtime comic book industry veteran, writer of novels, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, you know. So, first issue special lasted about 13 and 14 issues. It was literally like the first issue of a new idea that they would try and come up with. Kirby did a few of those, and they were kind of they're not really satisfying because you couldn't continue it. And Joe Kubert did this killer cover. Get real close. There he is. So, what's so annoying? I love this cover, by the way. Has he come to save the Earth or destroy it? I was bitching about that in the Star Wars #1 facsimile cover. That was used so much in the 70s. It was just aggravating. I'm like, you mean it could go either way? Well, here we go. Prepare for some high-octane mediocrity. You got Jerry Conway, and you got Mike Vosberg, who's still pretty new at all this, and Mike Royer, Jack Kirby's primary anchor. And they don't say who the letterer is, but I guarantee this is also Mike Royer, because he did that kind of stuff for Kirby too, and he can letter also. So I guess they didn't feel it was that important to mention it. You know. That's okay, I guess. I mean, you know, stuff happens, sorta, like he's an alien, but they don't know what the hell's going on. He can't speak any English, so there's just a lot of... becomes a big tussle. So everybody's out to get this guy. Maybe I could make myself some money off of that sound gadget he's got. Well, nobody says Good Samaritan's gotta take a loss. Real charmer. So it's very, very generic, and apparently he won the cosplay contest of the worst costume ever. It's just dreadful. But it was fun to read it. You know, it's just goofy. Good Lord, that blew my mind away when I saw it at the drugstore. How to get it? There's a, what do you call, public service announcement by Neil Adams. He did a bunch. I would go more into the meat and bones of this, but it's just, it ain't worth the time. It's not that good. So, yeah, and also you had the Starman. He was the second Starman, to my knowledge. The first one was the red-green one you saw in the Golden Age of comics, and he had the staff that he flew around and all kinds of stuff. So I guess that character wasn't around much, and he decided to do another Starman. Now, there have been other Starmen ever since. In late 80s, there was a... Tom Lyle did the art for the character that had purple and yellow costume with like a zigzag streak, and then not too long, like a year or so later, they made it black and red with a white streak. And if you remember the episode I did with the Justice League trying to recruit some more members, that one shows up. And also there was James Robinson's Starman, which lasted like 70 or 80 issues or something like that. And that was James Robinson. I don't know. He's kind of... I don't know why he's not more beloved. It's like he got a friggin' Eisner for that book, and then it's like, I don't know. Okay, so we're at the end here. I'll just kill time because it's not that good a book. So for the moment, our story ends. If you want to see more of our heroic Starman, read the issues letter page, and in the meantime, don't take any wooden spaceships. Ugh. The next issue was that New Gods revival I showed you before. Don't take any wooden nickels. Is like an ancient... I don't know. It's just a weird thing you say. And wooden spaceships just sounds really dumb. Dang it. I'm trying to find the page where they're begging you to write in and beg for more Starman. Come on. Screw it. Okay. I've devoted enough time to that. Okay, when I spent the summer of '74 with my grandparents in Lakeland, Florida. They had a trailer, and really, really nice. Really, I mean, beautiful on the inside. And like typical grandkid, I got kind of spoiled by them. And my grandmother and I walked this long way down to a 7-Eleven, and I picked out 6 comics, and this is one of the 6 comics. Now, aside from my very first comic being Captain America 145, and then a Marvel Triple Action, which reprinted the Power Man / Enchantress story, this was my next purchase. This and 5 other issues of different titles. John Romita cover, beautiful, and just the issue before Steve Rogers quit being... oh, goodness me, excuse me. He quit being Captain America because there was a Nixon analogy, but supposedly it's kind of weird though. In the story, the president ends up shooting himself, and I always thought that was kind of odd because like, how do you explain that later, in continuity? But what are you gonna do? Oh, this is Steve Englehart's story, Sal Buscema and Vinnie Coletta. I like what Vinny's bringing here on Cap's figure. Go away, it's Captain America! Up the steps. And for a while, Cap had some super strength, which was on account of the Viper who tried to poison him. A character called the Viper. Man, look at a Falcon's legs, how the color is way off. And it was kind of cool, but then it eventually went away. She's gonna blow. And it was a dream. Yes, it was a dream. Generally, I'm not big on dream sequences in the beginning of a book. I remember on issue of X-Men, like in the 190s, right before 200, there was like 3 consecutive issues that had a nightmare at the beginning. And I'm like, give me a break. So he's like, no, I'm going to turn back at the Cap. He goes, look, Sam, I'm not quitting in order to spite you. Stuff it. From now on, the Falcon doesn't have to listen to you. That's a great shot there. I reread the shit out of these books, and that's why I started drawing my own comics. I got really into it. I kept reading these same 6 issues and just absorbing more and more, and I started drawing my own comics. And it was exciting because it's like one of those things where like I didn't really know I could draw until I started drawing based on superheroes. Lucifer, I totally dig him because I saw him in a reprint of an X-Men story from issue 9, and it's real simple costume, but I don't know why I like him. He's just kind of this other dimensional character who wants to get the hell out of the Earth. And here is the typical. This is something else. I would say it's a drinking game, but I don't know if this would be appropriate. But it's like there's always some guy down on his luck with booze. And something superheroic happens in front of them, and then they say, "Oh, I ain't touched stuff no more." But he says, "Now he lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take." That's so great. And he's drawn. Get in here. A cache of foodstuffs. How long since I tasted the delicacies of earth? Too long, and since nothing may bar my way now, I choose to terminate my enforced abstentions. I said that word right. Ah, delicious. Wait a minute, Marvelite. Lucifer's major crime in this issue is impersonating the galloping gourmet honest. Actually, his sweet tooth will be the most crucial part of the story for 2 reasons. One will be prevailed shortly. And it's like, we're not stupid. It's called a reveal that you come up with later. But I hate that kind of stuff because it's like they don't have faith. It's like not having faith in your own story, So, because then he could say it later on, and I think he does. Well, this is Rafe and his gang, and I can't remember what's going on. Oh, they're trying to break into, where is it? Back door to Delhi. Let's see. I told you, cats, that Raph Michael got this old dude's weekly take covered, and he'll be mighty surprised in the morning. So he's kind of a hood, and yet he's also he butts heads with Sam Wilson and as the Falcon. So Inquart was really in touch with a lot of things concerning. I don't know. He was very much in the moment with a lot of his stories because the Falcon's based in Harlem. Okay, well, Cap flew right through him. And then here we go. By the Supreme Council, I didn't will that. I'm fading away, and I sense it's due to that earth foods I ate. The chemicals in it entering my bloodstream have changed my body's composition. See. You didn't need that other page, Frigger. So he's like, oh, well, I'm gonna fuse my essence with that of a human. He did that in Iron Man 20. And now they are one. See if any famous letter writers are on here. You find all kinds of names. So Lucifer takes off. Cap's like, I don't want to be Cap. Boo hoo. And Lucifer frees Ares. I don't even know why. Anyway, not important right now. But he extends his powers. Lucifer the Tempter, perhaps that is why the Outworld chose the name when he arrived. So now we are both Lucifer now, beardless one. So that's the only way you can tell the difference. Thankfully. Well, he can't summon this ionic energy because his power is split in two with the other guy. And but they eventually take him out, and Steve shows up. Come on, get in there. Man, this prank's crap. Falk, back off, buddy. If you'd been here when you were needed, I could have taken those two. Back off, Falk. You're just a bystander. This is Morgan. He's in charge of the mob and in Harlem, and really interesting character. Okay. Now for something not quite interesting. Charlton Premiere. I showed you issue 1, which had the Tyro trio or something, and then Shape by Grass Green, and then I showed you the second issue, which was the one that Alan Moore fell in love with, which was like life after nuclear war. But this one here, it's so funny. It says presents unlikely tales. Okay, you got Marvel's got Strange Tales, Tales to Astonish. They've got all the good names, and so does DC. It's like House of Mystery and stuff like that. So they sell for unlikely tales. It's like some guy coming home to his wife and saying, "Oh, wow, me and the guys were bowling. We decided to keep playing. Blah 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 blah. I know it's 3 a.m, and she'd be like, "That's a very unlikely tale." That's how it should have been. It should have been like a romance where somebody cheats on somebody. And they come up with some stupid, unlikely story. This, I believe, is Pet Boyette. There's a lot of shadows here, which is interesting because this stuff's more open. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please add that in the description or your comments below. Really good stuff. Then, okay, The Presence. Now, I don't know who did this because the guy didn't write his name on it. And that's that awful lettering I hate. It's Leroy lettering, which is like a press, like a printing press thing goes through a page. In like all the EC comics have that, where so every panel looks like someone screaming because it's all caps. Now we get to here's the juicy part. Steve Skeets, drawn by Jim Aparo, and this book came out in '68, and I'm certain it was just a couple months away from when Giordano got offered the job at DC, and he took all the talent with him. He took, Aparo, of course, but it's kind of neat to see early Aparo. Really, really neat. And then there's Steve Ditko. And I think it's a reprint. Yeah, Charlton's a bit maddening when you try to figure out what stories aren't reprints, because they'll reuse like a lot of Ditko stories. So Billy the Kid fighting Marines, many ghosts of Dr. Graves. I like that one. Romantic story. It's kind of dry. Now I was not. I got the first few issues of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then I just kind of stopped. I don't know why. I mean, it was good. It just, I don't know. I was kind of tight on funds at the time. Is that beautiful? So this is by Rick Veitch, who's just astonishing. He took over, Swamp Thing when Alan Moore, Steve Bissette, and John Totleben left the series, and he did a fantastic job. It was just amazing. But wow, look at that. And I heard, well, the inside's black and white, but when he does color, apparently he does some really crazy things, like he will melt crayons for a color to put on a page. So anyway, there's this really freaky highway, and it's somewhere in space. Not necessarily in space, at another dimension. The Sky Highway. Wowzer. So it's just this thing. It's just this other dimensional thing where people love driving. You know, it's like Big Daddy Roth. It's crazy, but with the turtles, anything's possible. That was a pretty long ride just to eat our lunches. Well, when you look like we do, you have to go out of your way for some privacy. Places this remote are getting fewer and farther between. Nice view, not a soul around. A big greasy grinder from Bob's Belly Bombs. What more can a mutant ask for? You hear something? Yeah, the sign you chewing. I love that. Yeah, I hear too. Lots of them. Is there a highway nearby? And nope. These Massachusetts valleys can play tricks on you sometimes. Guys, if this is New England countryside, then what's Los Angeles urban sprawl doing over there? Maybe they built it when we were on a mission. And it's just they got caught up in this insanity. And they hotwire Casey Jones' car. You cheese eaters, you hotwire my car and I'll cripple you. Love that pose. That's so great. So he's hanging on. Those dorks stole my rig. They can't do that. His wheels tell the world who he is. A man's car is his castle, damn it. What am I supposed to drive? And I think this is like a Citroen. I'm not sure. Just crazy looking friggers in there. This is an amazing page. It goes all the way around, down that way. Look at that. I love that. Just hanging on for dear life. And there's some white Zipatone being used over these slash marks for speed. And it's like a Hot Wheel track almost. Well, they all take off and they screech. Mike, you Aaron, you almost caused a pilot by slamming on their brakes back there. I couldn't help it. Look where we are. We're in another rogue dimension. A Bermuda cloverleaf? How do you explain all those cars then? Maybe they belong to unsuspecting motorists from our world who got caught in here and can't get out. Those scum. Bags ripped off my car. It is such a terrific fun issue. Like when I would see something like this, I'd grab it. And there's also a Richard Corbin issue. That's excellent. Full color. I recommend that. It's just sheer lunacy, and it embraces it. It's like they're not going to go through great pains to explain. I've had that car since I was 16. Casey's in another world. He's at it. Man, those faces. Man, Rick Veitch is just amazing. He does so many odd stuff, so odd projects. Man, it's crazy shit. This creature with the big lips gives him a kiss. Back with my car, you dinks. And somehow they get out of that dimension. That glowing light we fell into must have been a dimensional doorway, just like the one that got us here in the first place. So where are we now? Looks like the Boston skyline up there. Not quite home, but close enough. We can't turn our back on all those computers trapped in there. How are you gonna save them? They've been caught by a force of nature, just like the victims of an earthquake or hurricane. Besides, we've got our own problems to deal with. So these guys are cured. They somehow got out of that dimension, but there we go, beautiful car. But they're like, what did you guys do before you got trapped on a sky highway? I was an accountant. I drove a Ford Escort. I was a lit major at Brands. I didn't even know how to drive. I was a mechanic at Yugo dealership. Pretty pathetic, huh? Better take it easy. We don't want to get arrested. 55 miles feels like we're crawling. Especially when we're after what we're used to. You know, I kind of miss the fast lane already. What are you guys thinking? Let's go. Find the on-ramp. So they decide to, as they go through the ramp, they distort. So Brad Pack is so good, but it is not for the weak of heart. It's really disturbing and gross, but good story too, if you like it. So, come here, you. Daredevil and the Black Widow. I love Daredevil. I love Hawkeye. I love Black Widow. This pose has been repurposed for like so many different things, like stickers and ads and promotional stuff. That's the thing that Marvel had, like a lot of people. Well, you'd have the John Romita poses that, and you could just put that on something. It could be an ad for a subscription or whatever. So Hawkeye's being a dick in this episode, which happens a lot. I love Hawkeye, but I just hate how they make him an impulsive dick. But thankfully, with West Coast Avengers, he did some growing up. So it came out in 73. I love this guy. The artist, the penciler, is Sam Queskin. Now, he's somebody who had been around for a long time, and he didn't really do many comic books. This is like in his much later years, and he does beautiful work. And Sid Shores really matches up well with him. By the way, that's 100% John Romita redraw face. He did a lot of that. I don't know, to not necessarily just keep things on model, but just if he felt it could be better. So he's waiting on. There's Ivan. He got overcome by Hawkeye, who was being a dick. And the Black Widow's like, what's going on? The mark of Hawkeye. How dare you come crashing back into my life like this? Oh, great lady. That's just what I wanted to hear after coming 3,000 miles to tell you what you mean to me. I'm sorry, but sorry, baby. Listen, cool it, William Tell. Can't you see you're upsetting the lady? My eyes are as good as yours, Fearless. I'll just bet they are. So she's like, enough, both of you. I go where I please with whom I please. So somehow they get invited to go up. They go inside this brownstone. That Murdoch lets me keep upstairs. I can trust you two. Come on. I can trust you two. Trust us with what? And he's like, oh, you won't be needing me much. And he's like, he's kind of, he's holding her chin, which I always thought was tacky. I mean, that's like something from the 40s or whatever. And she spent all this time being a liberated woman in the early 70s, which was a huge thing. So he's like, oh, come on, we still feel for stuff. No, Clint. Because you always have a soft spot for sweet old lovable Hawkeye, won't you? Why would you put it that way? What can I say but yes? Blast, how could she deny that? Daredevil, butt out. Oh, by the way, this is very early Steve Gerber. And his stuff is pretty much Marvel style. I mean, he doesn't get crazy until like a couple years later. I mean, crazy in a good way. But he did Daredevil for almost a year. How about that? Come on, let's zoom in here. I love that so much. Clotheslines him. Oh, my beautiful bay window. And the Avengers are talking about stuff. He's stuck my bow waist deep in the big muddy lawn. I deserve it. Hey, you're not going to brain me, are you? No, just bury your bow is all. So, this Quesky guy's so good. And Sid Shore's stuff really matches it nicely. So So these biker punks, Hawkeye bumps into him. Excuse me, fella. Excuse me, ain't good enough, freaker. Nobody bumps a hillbird without getting wasted. Yeah, who and what army? And he zings away onto a flagpole, comes around, gets crap out of everybody, shoots a tuning fork arrow. Ah, you missed us. It's vibrating, knocking us out. That's kind of an odd. So anyway, there's this whistling arrow, which is driving Daredevil crazy because he has enhanced senses in his hearing. It's real painful. He breaks the bow in half. Ah, rats. Okay, you totaled my weapon. I'll see what I can do with yours. Not bad for a guy who's new at this. Not good either. Watch. Do I drag you back to New York, or do we have peace? Peace with honor. Give me back my arrows, and we'll call it a draw. Not till you fork over the Billy Club. And then they're like, Natasha decides. So we've got company. Company who? The Avengers here? Forget it. He says, we need your aid against Magneto. Will you rejoin us? Stuff it, Synthezoid. The Avengers and me are through. And I love the back muscles on Black Panther. So he's being a wuss and walking away. Because he believes Natasha contacted them. So they say, do you want to join? Like sort of a home free trial? Okay. But she ends up joining, but it's only for like an issue or two. It's kind of odd because back when she was wearing the fishnets and all that, I thought she was a member, but I think she was just hanging around when she came to America, immigrated to America. And also, it's just odd for that one story in Avengers. I don't know. It seems odd. Actually, at the end of Avengers 111, which follows this, at the end of the story, Daredevil says, well, I can't stay with you guys. Or he's thinking, I can't stay with these guys because the crowd of heroes is distracting my radar sense. And that makes a lot of sense. So that's it. But fun book. And if you can help me with like the artists on the Charlton book, or if you have any other information you want to share it. Leave lots of comments. I always check everything. I never delete anything. And here is some commission work there. Black Knight over Dawn Hex. I took a scan. Man, I found that. You know what's weird is that line work. I actually asked Brian Hitch about this one time. I said, do you have a little Brian Hitch in your inking? And he says, I didn't think about it, but I could see it. So, and this is a small version. It's 11 by 17, a recreation of a Hulk cover, one of my favorite issues. In the 70s, they didn't use Abomination nearly as much as they should have. They came up with like crappy characters like Captain Omen. And this is another one. It's a Gil Kane cover, and, painstakingly hand-lettered and recreated. And Chewbacca. This is a Star Wars. Stubbed my toe. By Paul Pelletier and me. And give me a second. Okay. La 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 la. Okay. So if you want to get in touch with me, just go to. Oh no! I screwed it up. Okay. It is so silly of me. Okay. Thank you for your patience. DrewDracyComics@gmail.com. So hit me up and we can talk prices. I'm very reasonable. And that's it, man. I love doing that. That was so much fun. It's like partial brush and partial quill. I use a Hunt 104 quill, which is like the smallest one they make. And that's it. I'm blathering like a loon. But hey, if you got something you'd like me to do, hit me up. And have a good day, everybody. Bye.